Imagine owning the moon. Sounds far-fetched, doesn't it? But there is a man who claims he does. Meet Dennis Hope. In the year 1980, Hope did something most of us only dream about in our wildest fantasies. He declared his own sovereignty over the moon. But how, you ask? Well, the story is as intriguing as it is audacious. In the mid-20th century, space exploration was gaining momentum. The world powers were reaching for the stars, and to prevent any territorial disputes, the 1967 Outer Space Treaty was established. This treaty, signed by 109 nations, including all major spacefaring countries, stated that no nation could lay claim to any celestial bodies. It was a pact for peace, a promise to keep the universe unmarred by earthly squabbles. But here's where it gets interesting. While the treaty explicitly stated that no government could own land on celestial bodies, it failed to mention individuals. A loophole, you might say, just wide enough for a dreamer like Hope to slip through. Hope, a venturous soul with an eye for opportunity, saw this oversight as his golden ticket. He claimed the moon, along with all other planets and moons in our solar system, barring Earth and the Sun, of course. But Hope didn't stop there. He went a step further. Armed with his claim, he promptly penned a letter to the United Nations, stating his intentions and laying out his claim. A claim that, while it may have seemed laughable to some, has never been legally challenged or refuted. And just like that, Hope became the self-proclaimed head cheese, as he likes to call himself, of his own celestial kingdom. He turned a simple oversight in an international treaty into a business that has garnered attention, laughter, bewilderment, and even a fair share of customers from around the globe. So, armed with this knowledge, Hope sent a letter to the United Nations stating his claim, and the rest, as they say, is history. What does one do when they claim ownership of the moon? They start a business, of course. Enter Dennis Hope and his brainchild, the Lunar Embassy. In 1980, Hope, driven by an entrepreneurial spirit as vast as the cosmos, launched the Lunar Embassy. This company, believe it or not, sells lunar real estate. You heard that right. Plots of land on the moon are up for grabs, at least according to Hope. But how does one go about selling pieces of the moon? Well, it's not as straightforward as a typical real estate transaction. Hope's company issues deeds for lunar land, complete with terms and conditions, much like you'd see in any property sale on Earth. Each deed represents 1 acre of lunar territory, and buyers even receive a map showing the location of their extraterrestrial property. However, as you can imagine, this business venture has sparked a fair share of controversy. The main question is, can anyone actually own and sell parts of the moon? According to the Outer Space Treaty of 1967, no nation can claim sovereignty over celestial bodies. But Hope found a loophole, arguing that the treaty doesn't specifically mention individuals or corporations. This argument has led to a fascinating legal debate. While some legal scholars believe Hope's claim holds water, others are far more skeptical. They argue that the spirit of the treaty extends to individuals and corporations, thus rendering Hope's lunar land sales null and void. But regardless of the legalities, the Lunar Embassy has proved to be a successful endeavor. Hope has sold over 600,000 acres of lunar land to date, and the numbers are still climbing. So, despite the controversy, the Lunar Embassy continues to sell acres on the moon, but is it all just a clever business ploy? Time will tell. But for now, the idea of owning a piece of the moon remains as tantalizing as ever. You might be surprised to learn who has purchased these lunar lands. It's a list that reads like a who's who of celebrities and public figures, all drawn to the allure of owning a piece of the moon. From Hollywood stars to politicians, musicians, and artists, the Lunar Land Registry is as diverse as it is impressive. Let's start with a name you'll surely recognize: Tom Cruise. Yes, the Mission Impossible star himself is a proud owner of a lunar plot. Perhaps he was inspired by his roles in space-themed movies, or maybe it's just his love for the extreme. Then, we have the former Beatle, Sir Paul McCartney, another luminary who's decided to stake his claim on the lunar surface. It's not clear whether this was a novelty purchase or a nod to his song The End, where he sang about "the love you take is equal to the love you make." John Travolta, the star of Saturday Night Fever in Greece, also owns a piece of the moon. We can't help but wonder if he's planning to do the moonwalk there one day. And it's not just celebrities who are buying into this lunar real estate market. Even politicians are getting in on the act. 3 former US presidents, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, and George Bush Sr., all reportedly own lunar land. But why are these prominent figures buying into this? The motivations vary. For some, it's a novelty gift, a conversation starter, or a unique piece of memorabilia. For others, it's a show of support for Hope's claim, a way to be part of this unprecedented venture. Some even believe in the potential for future lunar habitation, seeing their purchase as a long-term investment. Regardless of the reasons, one thing is clear. The idea of owning a piece of the moon has a certain appeal, a charm that transcends borders and social status. It's a dream that brings together people from all walks of life. From Hollywood stars to your next-door neighbor, it seems everyone wants a piece of the moon. With commercial space travel on the horizon, the question of lunar land ownership is more relevant than ever. As we gaze upon the glowing orb in the night sky, we can't help but wonder, what does the future hold for the man who claims to own the moon, and for those who've bought a piece of it? Let's imagine for a moment. As lunar habitation becomes a reality, governments around the world might be forced to recognize these lunar land claims. After all, what's to stop someone from planting a flag and saying, "This is mine," when they're standing on lunar soil? The potential for a moon rush, reminiscent of the gold rush of the 19th century, looms large. This could mean a new frontier of real estate, a boom in lunar land sales as everyone from individuals to corporations scramble to stake their claim. It could mean a shift in the balance of power as nations grapple with the implications of extraterrestrial land ownership. But it's not just about who owns what, it's about the ethical questions that come with it. Should one man be able to claim ownership of a celestial body that's been a part of human culture and mythology for millennia? If we start buying and selling pieces of the moon, what does that mean for our relationship with the cosmos? And what about the moon itself? How do we ensure its preservation and protection from potential exploitation? These are questions we'll have to grapple with as we venture further into the final frontier. The future of lunar land ownership is uncertain, full of potential and fraught with challenges. But one thing is for sure, it's going to be a wild ride. As we stand on the precipice of a new era in space exploration, the story of the man who claims to own the moon serves as a fascinating case study of the legal and ethical questions we may soon face.